And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is gonna feel something from him. And it ain't gonna be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
Tank's gonna kill him. Tank's gonna kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
it's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when there was
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's gonna kill him because
Florida, man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots.
The boxing world is in shock as Gervonta Davis showcases his best form, yet ahead of his highly anticipated clash with Jake Paul. Recent training footage captures Davis unleashing explosive power and pinpoint accuracy on the heavy bag. Every movement reflects laser-sharp focus and relentless determination, proving just how seriously he's taking this fight. Experts across the sport are praising his incredible conditioning and the confidence he's carrying into the showdown. Analysts suggest that Gervonta Davis has a real shot at victory, but only if he fights with strategy and discipline. They stress the importance of smart movement, ring control, and precise timing rather than rushing for an early knockout. Davis's true strength lies in his patience and his ability to read his opponent's rhythm. Experts believe that if he sticks to a hit-and-move approach, Jake Paul will struggle to keep up with his accuracy and speed. While Davis is widely known for his explosive power, it's his defense and counterpunching that make him truly dangerous. Many agree that when he fights intelligently, no opponent at Jake's level can match his blend of technique, power, and footwork.
He didn't, his ability make up for that size difference, in your honest opinion?
Well, he has to be very smart throughout the course of the fight. It's hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab. Jake's fighting one of the best boxers ever.
Experts warn that Jake Paul may face a harsh awakening once he steps into the ring with Gervonta Davis. They argue that Davis's experience, speed, and fight IQ are on an entirely different level from anything Jake has faced before. While Jake's past opponents relied mostly on physical strength, none possessed Tank's explosive timing or ability to capitalize on the smallest mistakes. Analysts predict that once Davis lands clean, the power gap will become undeniable. Jake's defense is often described as raw and largely untested, whereas Davis's ring composure allows him to anticipate and counter with precision. For many, a knockout feels almost inevitable. They believe that once Tank connects, Jake won't have the stamina or defensive sharpness to recover, resulting in a sudden, devastating finish.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Chilaquiles. Gervonta Tank Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta Tank Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all want to say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, he needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I'll say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level. And it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing.
The question of weight has become one of the most debated aspects of this fight. Some argue that the size difference between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis is simply too great to overlook, while others believe Davis's refined skill set will easily outweigh the physical gap. Both fans and analysts remain split. Critics question whether the matchup is even fair, considering Jake's naturally larger frame. However, Tank's supporters argue that his speed, discipline, and accuracy make him more than capable of outclassing bigger opponents. They remind everyone that boxing has never been about size, it's about control, precision, and timing. Many believe Jake's fundamentals are still too raw to present a real challenge, and that Davis's technical mastery will completely neutralize any size advantage Jake might have.
WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight. And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves. And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their professional.
Michael Bisping acknowledges Gervonta Tank Davis's incredible power and skill, but cautions that size is a factor that can't be completely dismissed. He praises Davis's ability to adapt against larger opponents, yet emphasizes that physical differences always play some role in a fight's outcome. According to Bisping, Tank has the ring IQ and movement to outthink and outmaneuver Jake Paul, but the weight gap could test his endurance and ability to absorb heavier punches. Still, he admires Davis's determination and believes that if anyone can rise above his challenge, it's him. Bisping concludes that while size remains a legitimate concern, Davis's superior technique and strategy could be enough to neutralize Jake's physical edge as long as he executes his game plan perfectly.
That's pushing 60 years old, for crying out loud, but at the same time pretending to be like this badass motherfucker, sending me DMs talking. He offered me a contract a long time ago, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm a retired fighter and I've got one eye. Why would I want to fight you? I wouldn't lower myself to doing that. I know a lot of people do that. They do lower themselves, if you want to say that, because of the payday, because Jake Paul is a big name. He is a social media sensation. He's a YouTube star. And now, of course, in the world of boxing, he's one of boxing's biggest stars because he puts on these spectacles like Paul versus Tyson, like Nate Diaz, because these are the fighters, these are the names that attract the eyes. Jake Paul is the B-side to almost every single one of his fights. When he fought Nate Diaz, people were tuning in for Nate Diaz. His last fight against Cesar Chavez Jr., apparently no one watched that fight. Apparently the pay-per-views were ridiculously low. So this one's going back to Netflix on November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this would be very, very dangerous and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him and hit him many, many times and not knock him out, with the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling around inside the head, and Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could, it's dangerous. That's why fights like this can't get sanctioned. That's why this is a exhibition bout and not a real matchup. Now listen, they're both going to get paid tremendously. They're going to make a ton of money, and a lot of people are going to tune in and watch it on Netflix.
Several analysts have spoken out against what they see as the unfair criticism of Gervonta Davis's career. They point out that fighters who share the ring with Tank often experience a major boost in recognition afterward. For instance, opponents like Lamont, once relatively unknown, gained significant popularity and success following their bouts with him. Analysts argue that this demonstrates Davis's influence and star power within the sport. They dismiss claims that he isn't one of boxing's leading figures, insisting that his fights not only draw massive attention, but also create opportunities for others. In their view, questioning his legacy overlooks how much he has elevated the visibility and careers of many fighters simply by stepping into the ring with them.
Discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis, his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them. Because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now, let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who was somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely, when he defends his...
Coach Reg offers a balanced perspective on the criticism directed at Gervonta Davis. He reminds fans that Davis has already accomplished more than most fighters his age. In his view, there's nothing wrong with pursuing high-paying bouts once you've proven yourself at the top level. Reg believes Tank has earned the right to secure his financial future after years of hard work, discipline, and risk. He explains that every boxer eventually reaches a stage where life-changing paydays become just as important as titles. To him, critics often overlook how much Davis has contributed to the sport and underestimate his commitment. Reg concludes that whether Davis decides to retire soon or continue his journey, he has already cemented his status as one of the premier lightweights of his generation.
Especially Tank been talking about retiring, so why not get the bag and then go about your business if that's your plan? I mean, if that's your plan to retire, then go get the bag and then go about your business. You ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm not against it.
You got some people that are very critical, Tank. Does it make sense depending on what you're in boxing for? Because you got some people that want to fight the best. You got some people that want the accolades, the belts, the undisputeds. You got some people that just came in this game like, look, I'm trying to get my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth. Does it all depend on what you decided to box for?
Well, Tank accomplished a lot at a young age. You know what I mean? He accomplished a lot at a young age. So I wouldn't be mad if he took the bag and went about his business and never fought again. You know what I mean? Plus, look at some of the things that he's going through. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of that can affect you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to be in this game. So I think, you know, get the bag and go. That's your plan. Get the bag and go.
For me, of course, I wanted to see him fight Shakur. I wanted to see him fight Devin.
Yeah, we all wanted to see him fight.
Guess what, bro?
Some analysts note that a major part of the buzz surrounding this fight stems from Gervonta Davis's popularity and cultural influence. As one of the most recognized fighters in America, Tank naturally attracts massive media coverage and fan attention. His bouts go beyond the sport itself. They've become cultural moments that connect with a wide audience. Experts explain that his fame has positioned him among boxing's biggest stars, bringing both admiration and criticism along the way. They also point out that public perception plays a huge role in shaping how matchups like this are viewed. Davis's high profile ensures that everything he does makes headlines, yet most agree that it's his undeniable skill, not just his fame, that has truly earned him this spotlight.
Tank Davis, especially an American black fighter, right? Everything is embellished and, you know, made into a bigger deal, especially when they're popular fighters like Gervonta Davis. Or Floyd Mayweather has a close fight with Castillo Maidana, and it's the end of the world. Andre Ward has a tough fight with Kovalev. Oh, it's the end of the world. He cheated and all this stuff. Jermell Charlo has a close fight with Castano, so on and so forth, right? Oh, Jermell, it was a robbery, and it turns into this big deal. But back to Tank's resume, his last opponent was Lamont Roach. I thought he won the fight. There wasn't this crazy action happening on Lamont Roach's side prior to that knee thing. I feel like when the knee fiasco happened, that's when the fight started to pick up a bit. And Lamont Roach, I think what he deserves credit for is he exceeded expectations that people have for him. But you can't score a fight based on expectations. You feel me? Right? Like, you don't get a fight and get the victory because you did better than people thought you were going to do. That is not how you score boxing, right? You don't get more points because you're the underdog and you did better. It's not how boxing works at all, right?
Many analysts view this matchup as more of a global spectacle than a traditional boxing contest. Jake Paul's rapid rise through social media and entertainment has turned him into a crossover star rather than a conventional fighter. Experts suggest that this bout isn't just about competition. It's designed to capture mainstream attention and bridge audiences from both sports and pop culture. With Netflix handling the broadcast, massive worldwide exposure is guaranteed. While some expect Gervonta Davis to dominate thanks to his elite experience and technical edge, others believe Jake's celebrity status adds unpredictability and excitement to the event. In many ways, this fight represents the merging of entertainment and boxing, where skill meets spectacle. Competitive or not, it's certain to attract millions of viewers and propel both men further into the global spotlight.
Paul, thoughts? I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote-unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is, you know...
Do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then...
Okay. It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's going to kill him because...
Many analysts view this matchup as more of a global spectacle than a traditional boxing contest. Jake Paul's rapid rise through social media and entertainment has turned him into a crossover star rather than a conventional fighter. Experts suggest that this bout isn't just about competition. It's designed to capture mainstream attention and bridge audiences from both sports and pop culture. With Netflix handling the broadcast, massive worldwide exposure is guaranteed. While some expect Gervonta Davis to dominate thanks to his elite experience and technical edge, others believe Jake's celebrity status adds unpredictability and excitement to the event. In many ways, this fight represents the merging of entertainment and boxing, where skill meets spectacle. Competitive or not, it's certain to attract millions of viewers and propel both men further into the global spotlight.
It's like, that's a no-brainer, but I understand. I still feel for Lamont. That's my boy. Like, he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers. Be like, oh, he this for that. He's this. It's a side quest. It's a little side quest. Cause what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's another little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment world. Cause I mean, I don't know. I would have done it as far as the money aspect, cause none of us would deny that money. They talk.
Stephen Fulton has publicly defended Gervonta Davis against critics who accuse him of chasing easy paydays. Fulton argues that every boxer deserves the chance to secure financial stability, especially in a sport as short-lived and dangerous as boxing. He points out that Davis has already proven his value through years of dominance, and pursuing major high-profile fights is a natural next step. Fulton urges fans to look deeper, reminding them that Davis has earned the right to balance legacy with financial reward. His defense of Tank reflects a growing sentiment within the boxing community, respect for fighters who recognize their worth and refuse to be confined by outdated expectations.
This can happen, but this is social media. This is what it's created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from him. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.